Hello and welcome to the Arena Sports Show. My name is Clauiee Grace Mpanza. Joining me today is Mr. Click Click Bang Sizwe Mabena, and today it's just the two of us, Sizwe Mabena. What would they say in your back in your days?
Just the two of us.
We
can
could
make it
it
without my class.
Oh, that's the truth.
Just me and you. Just me and
you. Well, just the two of us and you, of course, alongside with us. We've got a jam-packed show lined up for you today. We have a stellar defender who will be amongst the mix. And unfortunately, as you know, Sizwe Mabena has never kicked a ball. So we're keeping him up in commentary. So Legs of Thunder and Magents will be, of course, in the field of play. But for now, a lot has been happening in the world of sport. Here are your top stories.
After they thumped Australia 33-7 in Brisbane, the Springboks have turned their attention to the second match of the Rugby Championship in Perth against the Wallabies on Saturday. Coach Rassie Erasmus said there's no time for complacency as they will be looking to make a two-test Rugby Championship clean sweep against Australia on Saturday at the Optus Stadium. South Africa captain Themba Bavuma was left to lament Trinidad's inclement weather as his team finished 5 wickets short of victory during the first test against the West Indies. The team lost play to rain on all 5 days of the Port of Spain test, with a total of 142 overs lost overall across the match, as both South Africa and the West Indies missed an excellent opportunity to rise in the ICC World Test Championship standings. Former Feyenoord, PEC's Wall, FC20, Brentford and Skukuina United midfielder Kamohelo Mokocho says the South African Football Association did a great job by hiring Hugo Bruce for Bafana Bafana. The Cape Town City midfielder, who many believe should have earned more than his 23 caps for Bafana, added there is no major difference between the English and South African football.
Zooming in now into our star of the week as to who has impressed us in the past few days. We'll start with the man that is running about at OR Tambo as we welcome back our athletes. Mahlatsi Mphahlele, he chooses his star of the week.
My star of the week, I'm going with the Olympics this time, and I've got two. Firstly, Faith Kipyegon, the Kenyan superstar who achieved a remarkable feat of having won gold in 3 consecutive Olympic Games in 15,000 meters. It's something that has not been done by both a male and a female. Fantastic achievement for her, and congratulations to her. And also Sifan Hassan from the Netherlands, who in my view also one of the stars of these Olympic Games, won gold in the marathon, and also adding up to that earlier having done bronze in both 10,000 and 20,000. It's not something easy to do, but she managed to do. And in my view, if you look in distance running in history, some of the best women distance runners that you have ever seen in the world of athletics. Thank you very much. Danko.
Well, great to see the influence of being part of the show as he's still running along at OR Tambo to make sure that our athletes feel welcome. Speaking of running, Sizwe Mabena here has literally forced me to say, take note of the Zizus. You might ask yourself, what are the Zizus? The Zizus are the sneakers that he's wearing today, rather. And I'm shocked as to why you would name them Zizu in the first place.
All my shoes have names, and they're my favorite footballers. So yes, this is one of my favorite footballers, and these ones just, I don't know, they've got that Zizu feel about them. So I just named them Zizu.
Zizu feel.
And Zinedine Zidane, you know?
No. Who Zizu might be. Zinedine Zidane. But funny enough, this look is giving, it's giving Beckham. So I'm shocked that you went that side.
No, I'll rock the Beckhams.
Oh, there's Beckhams as well.
There's Beckhams next week.
My goodness gracious. It's so sad you can't see my shoes, hey? But it's fine. Sizwe Mabena, who's your star of the week?
Well, it's on the Olympic beats. I was for the final of the men's football gold match.
For sure.
Out in Paris. And I'll tell you what, Clauiee, in as far as major finals go, my favorite final in any major tournament was France against Argentina in Qatar, right? the Olympic Games just outdid that game for
Yeah.
me now. Spain against France. France score first in the 11th minute. By the end of the first half, Spain's leading 3-1. 10 minutes to go, Spain is still leading 3-1 at the end of 90.
Yeah.
And by the end of 97 minutes, it's 3-3. And then it goes into extra time. Spain won 5-3, but lovely crowd, great football, great football on display, great fighting spirit, and the most entertaining final I've ever had. And that it surpasses the France-Argentina match in Qatar. For me, is just unbelievable. One of my favorite games to ever commentate that. And that's my gold medal team is France, of course, Spain.
Yeah.
So they're my stars of the week, but I should actually give it to both of them.
Okay, you could. But quickly, just talk to us about Henry and really what he's done with this team.
Firstly, there's Thierry Henry, who was leading this team, right? They were playing at home. And you remember when he won the World Cup, they were playing at home as well in France. And the nice thing with this final was they had all of the French royalty in as far as football in the stands. So Didier Deschamps was the current French coach and was Henry's captain when they won the World Cup back in '98. He was out in the stands, including some of the former teammates as well, both Jokaev and so on. So for Henry, I thought with the team, what he's done, it's great for him as a coach.
Yeah.
It's exciting for France going forward as well. And the most impressive thing about it and Henry and how he won over French hearts is even though they lost 5-3 in the final playing at home, at the end of the game,
the fans
no
are
one
still
left
there.
the stands. All the fans still stayed and clapped just for the effort, the fighting spirit.
For sure.
And I don't think I remember anyone crying either. They all knew they'd given a great game. And it won't get better than that. It's a story for the ages here.
For sure.
And it's looking good for France. I'm telling you what, the future of football is great. When you look at these youngsters that were playing at this Olympics, including the ladies' game, it's looking great. The future of football is nice.
Well, it definitely is. And then my star of the week, I'll have to tell you myself because clearly you are the only person that cares. But I actually have two though. I couldn't choose between the two. The one doesn't make sense according to Sizwe Mabena, but the one it has to be Steph Curry. We'll start with Steph Curry and this one and how he just carried the United States. I think individual performance. We all know what Steph Curry brings to the game. And there's never been a question about his capability and what he does, but into carrying this United States of America and just bringing this legacy, this class, and literally, if it wasn't, I think it's safe to say, if it wasn't for Curry, the United States wouldn't have that gold medal. So, and the support from his teammates as well. Yes, I love the support from his teammates as well. Every time Curry had the ball, they're like, no, we know, it's done. It's already a point. It's points. We're celebrating. So it's great to see Curry also showing up at that level. And then my second star of the week, it's Snoop Dogg.
You know this is a sports show, right?
It is.
I'm just saying.
He was at the Olympics, was he not?
Oh, yeah. Well, yes. At the start of the Olympics.
At the end, in between, Snoop Dogg was there. But let me tell you why. Snoop Dogg is my fighter. So while Snoop Dogg was a part of these Olympics, he was also making some bag. As much as, yes, it's great to appear. So it is rumored and that, of course, per appearance that he made, right? He was getting about $500,000. That was just one day. So now count the number of days Snoop Dogg was there. In about 17 days, we're looking at $8.5 million that he made during the Olympics. I kid you not. So Snoop Dogg, my fighter, love it. And of course, besides the money, I mean, he also gave a nice performance to Dr. Dre. So, and he also alluded to the fact that it's not about money. I mean, I grew up watching the Olympics, so it's great for me to be a part of this. So yes, first class to watch it and be a part of it. But I also made some chankura.
You heard me once, old Snoop, hurt my feelings terribly. I was coming down here to perform, buy tickets, and go to the stadium. But when you get to the stadium, you find out Snoop didn't make it. Coming through London to fly here, you got arrested in London.
Oh, no.
So, guess why?
Why?
Weed. But the nicest thing is then, it was a few days later, so all of us get to come back.
Yeah.
And so Pharrell and them got to perform alone on that day.
Yeah.
And the day comes through, instead of having all these other acts, it's just now Snoop alone, but he did like 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
So he made it worth our while. It's like he was around for, it was a beautiful performance, but I'm talking, it wasn't an hour, 2 hours, no, it was like 3-4 hours.
He made it up
So
to
yeah,
you
he made it up
guys.
to, and plus we got 2 shows then.
Oh.
We had Boffarel and then we were part of the same,
Uh-huh.
you know, that first show he didn't make. So
he didn't hurt you
Nah,
that
nah,
much.
nah.
It was good
it's the
pain.
disappointment of finding out when you got there.
Yeah, the first
There's
part.
no Snoop. You got arrested in London for weed, like, you know?
No, but absolutely crazy. So we do know that Team South Africa, they managed to, I guess we're staying with Olympics, they managed to pick up 6 medals at the Olympics. And while part of the welcoming and why Mahlatsi Mphahlele is at OR Tambo is to be a part of the welcoming. So let's see how that, of course, is looking, the number of fans that have showed out at OR Tambo, and of course the conversations with our medalists.
This welcoming has been mind-blowing. I think especially I've only been to 2 Olympics, and Tokyo was obviously not the same coming back just because of the whole COVID situation. So for people to make time and really come out here, it really means a lot. I've never thought I would stand on the other side. It's always nice celebrating the Springboks and everyone coming back with their medals, but being on the other side, experiencing it, it's really humbling, and I'm very, very grateful.
Well, they always say that defenders win you championships. But the other thing that they say is that they will protect the gold mouth. And our guest today hails all the way from the province of the Rising Sun, Kaya. And interestingly enough, very distant, by the way. Sizwe Mabena has been claiming this for years. That they're, he has been claiming it for years that they're related. Only this year did I confirm that actually the relation is true. But we're going to do things a little bit different today, because we do know that Sizwe Mabena, of course, is a commentator. So let's see if we can do commentary in studio, yeah? So, Sizwe, Legs of Thunder Jr. against, of course, Magents. What do you have for us?
So it's the Legs of Thunder versus the no-nonsense type of central defender and captain of the Mighty Coast Buccaneering on the left flank of the Arena Sports Show couch.
Sis Benzo. That is too fresh. No, not too bad. Well, we have Magents, of course, Happy Jele joining us. Skipper, what you make of that intro?
Top, Kazi.
Sure, Kazi. What's the top?
That's top.
It's real, no? Now it's real.
Because you wanted this, that's the thing. You wanted
us up.
It's a setup.
It's not a setup. Why would I ever do that? You mind Kaya?
Yeah, but you know he's my cousin, but you always want to make sure. Why?
Because I'm an attacker. You
Those are
can't
the
be
best
Legs
tips.
of Thunder Jr. and
So I'm
don't
a defender. That's why
that's why you're
I'm-
trying to shield.
Yeah, I'm shielding.
yeah. But Skipper, I mean, geez. Firstly, thank you for joining us. And I guess to just start it off, I mean, we've spoken so much about your career and what you've achieved. Absolutely phenomenal. But what we want to start it off with is, your family life and how that has been post-football and how you're finding being at home, picking up the kids. How is that?
Yeah, I think the most important thing, I've played the game for such a long time, and I've been away, not spending time at home. And this previous year and months, I think I'm enjoying myself, just to spend time with the family, spending time with my kids most, taking them to school, just a little, just to know them better, because that's the most important thing. When you're away, you don't know your child when he cries with something. And now I know, because I always spend time with them, So the little that I get with them, I make sure that I spend time.
Do they know that you played football at some point? Do they have any memories of you playing? Do you guys talk about it? Just paint that life for us.
Yeah, the older one knows that I was playing, but the young one, the last born is 2-year-old, doesn't know anything. When you see me on TV, even now, when I'm analyzing the game, like he goes to the TV and say, "Hey, David," you know. So even if, because I'm type of a person, after a show I go back and watch it and see my mistake. You know, I used to use it when I was playing. You know, doing corrections.
Yes.
Let me put it that way. Doing corrections. So I also do that when I'm sitting with her. You always go to the TV, and I'm with her.
Yeah.
You know, he thinks I've run away. You know, but it's nice. It's nice. But the older one, they were enjoying watching me playing football.
I have to ask you, Mambo Sadlala, did you ever think, after playing, I'm going to get into television? Or when did that start to become a reality for you?
I used to love TV, you know, but I never thought that I'm capable.
Yeah.
Let me say that. I never thought I'm capable, but nowadays I find it interesting because I'm loving it. I'm talking something that is football, something that I used to play, you know, and it's nice to share my view, my opinion to the people so that they get to understand.
So whose idea was it? Yours? Or did they call you?
I went to audition.
Really?
No, I'm joking. They called me.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, they called me and I said, let me try.
I went to audition way back. Long ago.
Of course you had to
In the
audition.
queue,
You didn't play Sizwe
way
Mabena.
back. They had to go to call, right?
It's
but
different.
But I got a call and yes, it's part. I will say it's part of audition because I went there and obviously you need to try 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And if it works, then.
You know,
I want to find out. Wait, sorry,
I have to say
Mabena.
this with the TV thing. You know what's funny? My piece of introduction, I think, to football, top flight, was through a presenter.
Walter
Mugwena, funny enough, was at SABC at the time as well. So it's funny that now he's at SABC years later at the end of his career. But anyway, sorry, you were saying?
It's a cool fact. Thank you for that. Skipper, what's the one thing that shocked you in terms of production? Because I know normally from a presenting perspective, Mabena, when you get the earpiece and you hear the director and you hear the entire team, that normally shocks a lot of people.
You can say it again. I think that's the terrible part, that you hear a lot of voices in your ear and you have to speak at the same time.
Yeah.
So my colleagues told me to say, you must get quicker to know this thing because it's giving you a problem in the later age. So first time I didn't use my earpiece, but second time the producer said, put it. But it was on, volume 1.
Yeah.
So that I don't hear anything because then when the game starts, I put it on so that I can hear now what they're talking about if they need me,
Yeah.
But when I have to speak, I put it down a little bit so that I get to talk and make sense to people.
So it's a derby, a lot of noise. We know that the noise and the pressure of playing in a derby is also quite high. And now you speak, of the noise in your ear. How?
It's not the same.
I know it's different, right?
Yeah.
But
the noise on your phone and the noise of the crowd, it's not the same.
The stadium one is more pleasurable.
Yeah.
You take that.
Yeah,
but how do you communicate now with your players along? Because I know that's the other thing, where if you're trying to talk to a Mabena in the field of play and there's 90,000 people, it becomes a bit more difficult in that instance. How did you manage that?
I've learned it at the early age. My coach Palashos, Coach Kroll, Coach Obo Roger, people who know the vibe. Yeah, we'll go to training maybe 2 weeks before the derby. Then we'll play like Coach Daves, Coach Muloy. Sidlale at silence.
Sure.
We don't communicate.
Really?
We're just using hands.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And it teach you when on the day of a derby, then at least the eyesight, all of us, we look at each other, that's better.
Yeah.
Because you can't hear anything. Even the coach, when he's doing, you can't hear anything.
Yeah.
That's why you find like they are actors. They're doing this.
So what was your first derby like? Did you struggle or did you have fun with your first derby?
It's something that it was a dream for me, but when it's there, uvalo lwenzani from a hotel.
Yeah.
From a hotel uyashaya uvalo. Uyashaya kakhulu. ebhasini uyabona nje ukuthi imoto ziyahamba ukuthi hey kugcwala masinamuntu.
Yeah.
But once you get there, if you get your first touch, then you start to become.
Okay, now I'm gonna ask you. I have to ask you this question. What was the scariest one? The first derby, or the day in the actually final in Puma, it's the Champions League finals
I
in
think
Cairo?
Mina for Mina Kazi, it's based on each and every game I've got. If you're in
Is it?
yeah, if you're I need to have that fear in
Okay.
because I want to do my best. I want
Yeah.
So all the time when you're it's either it's a big game or it's a small team. I need to do my best.
Yeah.
You know. But when I get my first touch, I start to become now and play and enjoy the game.
Okay.
It's interesting you say that because Mabena, I remember you used to say the same thing as well in terms of preparation. That the nerves.
Yeah. Every show, every game,
I can tell you, if you don't have nerves,
you don't care anymore.
then on a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't
You
care
don't care
about the
anymore.
job. You know.
Yeah.
Even now, even as an analyst, ngiyagula maybe nginokushake ngifika kuqala lapha ngibhala ngishake ngithi mara yazini ngoba njani namuhla.
Yeah, no?
You know what I mean? But once I'm in the middle of it, I get comfortable, I'm fine, singing sharp, then I do my best.
No, we absolutely like that wisdom coming from Happy Jele. Don't try and take some wisdom. Mabena.
I'm like,
you're not doing nothing.
No, I'm so impressed. You could see, like, we all go through the same thing. Where even this morning, I mean, to record here, you wake up in the morning, you're like,
Even now,
Yeah. Is it?
yeah.
And you know, Clauiee, you know.
That's why
Clauiee
I was making myself comfortable.
Makes sense.
Don't take it for granted. That's what's
No,
up.
we never do. But then now, when you look into, I mean, what we're going into the new season, we've had the pleasure of watching the quarterfinals of the MTN8 and, of course, teams that have qualified. What's your analysis, Happy, with what you have seen from most teams? I know a lot of footballers are believing now that, especially after Mamelodi Sundowns, that there might be a new winner for the league, that if teams are a bit more consistent, that they can take the throne away from Mamelodi Sundowns. What have you seen from the MTN8 and the teams that we've watched?
To be honest, it's going to be a different season. I'm looking at Captain City, the way they've played.
For sure.
I'm looking at SuperSport, the way they play against Pirate.
Yeah.
And they're going to be a dangerous team. And Stelis, they've been developing this previous season.
Yeah.
And they are consistent about the results. So it's going to be interesting. Sundowns, yes, they've got a change of coaches, but the players are still there. It's still the same players. So we can't judge them now and say they won't win the league or so. But obviously, we want the change. The change needs to happen.
Yeah.
The change needs to happen. No. It's been a while that Sundowns is taking a lead. I think Pirate is capable of taking the league this season. The way I was so impressed the way they were playing in the first game, and in the preseason the way they've been playing in Spain. I've been watching their games. Yeah. So there's a little bit change or improvement of last season at Pirate. They've got a couple of players that they've signed recently, good players that will help the team. Yeah. But I'm interested in seeing SuperSport and Cape Town City because they've signed good players, you know, and SuperSport, when you look at it, it's balanced now in terms of senior players and I'm not gonna say senior players, but I will say most experienced players.
Yeah.
You know,
Good signings there.
Good signings.
Pule was a nice addition as well.
Yeah, Pool, it's a good signing. So yeah, I'm interested on those teams and I just wanna see because Pirate I know, Stelis I know now, but I'm interested in those two. Even Skukunis, you know, signing.
They've also made good signings.
They signed many players though.
Yeah, Njabulo, Munari, good signings. You know,
my only issue with Skukune, I think it's the coaching. When you sign that many players, and then you don't have a proper preseason, good coaching one goes through pre-season with
Yeah.
you, and you start the season having built through pre-season, because and they just change coaches. I
Yeah,
think. So that's the only issue I've got in this coach.
But-
And I think
where there's
also
a question mark there, you know.
But what is nice, it's they bringing back Siema, the person
Yes.
the person that knows the team.
Yes.
So it's not going to be difficult
Yes.
too much
Yeah.
for structure.
Yeah.
It's just the new guys needs to understand Siema, and that's it.
I think also to add to that, the players as well, Skipper, to understand each other, because that's the other thing that I noticed in the last encounter, is that the synergy amongst the players, because you'd see Munare making those runs, but then now the players around him, it's like they're not really sure of his role as well, as to then how do you support him when he's in the box like that. So I think they also need to kind of figure it out amongst themselves.
They'll get through to cohesion, and remember they're coming from different teams, different style of play.
Yeah.
This is a new game models for them, so they need to adapt quicker, you know. So yeah.
And as far as closing the gap with Sundowns, because there was a big gap over the last 5 years between Sundowns and everybody else, Mopegi Pirates, and the last 2 seasons. And firstly, the quality of Pirates' play, the quality of their players, how it's gotten better over the last 2 years. Also the fans now.
Yeah.
So you can see what it's building in that regard as well. Do you think they're the closest team to closing that gap to Sundowns? Are they Sundowns' biggest threat this season?
Pirates. Yeah, there's a biggest threat. It shows even the last 2 seasons, the way they play. You can't win 2 trophies in a season and don't change the league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, they were chasing the league. They wanted to play in the Champions League as well. But I think it's the right time for them to get the league, because they didn't change so much. They still have a core team.
Yeah.
So they just assigned maybe 3 players, 4 players in the team. So that's a good signing. The core is still there.
Yeah.
So they get together amongst themselves all the time. They know each other, so it's easy for them, and they've tested the glory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's for them to chase the league.
What about Kaizer Chiefs then, Skipper? I mean, they also want to, taste a bit of glory. It's been a while since they've had any silverware. They've also made some movement as well in the transfer market, where we see Sereno is going to join them, Bongani Sam as well, who is part of this Kaizer Chiefs side rather. What do you make of the signings that they've made, and of course the technical bench as well? He seems to be quite interested in South African football. I mean, we saw him at the Mamelodi Sundowns game, where he's also just watching South African football and just consuming it. What do you make of Chiefs going into the new season, and what they need to work on really?
It's just they need to be together as players. Sometimes I feel like the coach can't do so much. Even if you can bring the best coach in the world, I think if togetherness is not there, there's going to be a problem. You can't get the result. And this past season, obvious things didn't go well for the Chiefs. But I've seen something, this friendly that they played in Toyota Cup.
Yeah.
I can see what coach is trying to do, is trying to implement his style. But it's too early. We need to at least see him in 2 games, 3 games and see. And also they've got signings that they've got Sereno and the guy from Cape Town Spurs, what's his name?
The central defender.
Central defender. It's a good player as well. They're trying to strengthen up the team. They're trying to strengthen up the team. But for me, it's just the togetherness. I feel like they are separate.
You know what I want to bring to you, because you are one of the longest serving captains at Orlando Pirates, and you've been the leader. You were once led as well. You walked into an Orlando Pirates side that had so much experience. Abotso were there, Abo Magents were there. The old gang that welcomed you in. Abo Tikhang Mabalane.
Magents.
Magents welcome as a nickname. As a nickname.
Ufuna
like-
utshela abantu ukuthi ngimdala manje ngidlala
Football
nama-10.
age back then.
As a nickname. Did he not welcome you, co-pirates? Nickname
No,
yak.
he did.
Thank you, Skipper. Now, Mabalana, Abodona, welcoming you in, and then now you had to also lead Orlando Pirates. Now, when you look into Kaizer Chiefs and the leadership and the seniority that is needed there, because you need senior players in a club that carry the culture, and that's one thing I remember at Mamelodi Sundowns, that they always emphasize as they might not play all the games, but we need them in the dressing room. Looking at Kaizer Chiefs, the seniority there and the back and forth that's going along with Itumeleng Kune, do you then also allude to the lack of experienced senior players, to that cohesion that you speak of that is lacking because of such players?
Yeah, true. They need a lot of senior players that understand Kaizer Chiefs, not senior players who come from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Senior players who understand Kaizer Chiefs. I'll make an example with Orlando Pirates. Orlando Pirates, there is Big Nabulaki. You know, we've come from the back, Kwavait. You know, after Tina, Kuzabo Mayela. You know what I mean? So Mayela has been there for a while. You understand the team.
Yeah.
I've been there for a while before I took over to be a captain. Like you've been there, you know, it's a generation after generation.
For sure.
You know, I feel like they needed maybe a couple of guys like that in the team, no matter what happened, but they understand the culture of the team,
Yeah.
the history of the team. Because I feel like most of the new players, they don't understand the history of the team,
For sure.
what it means to play for that team. You know, there's one person I still remember on the day. I think we were playing derby or we were playing a final game. We lost on that day. That grandmother told me one thing, that, you know, I've spent my last cent of money to go and watch you, and you guys lost.
Jeez.
He was crying.
And that's good.
And on that point, I took all my money that I have in my pocket on that day, the cash money, I gave it to that mom. And that's it. I said, sorry, mama, it's part of football. But
Yeah.
if we won that, the joy was going to be crazy.
Yes,
Like a grandmother.
Yeah.
something I saw earlier, I mean, in this industry. It was a week game, Orlando Stadium, week game. So kickoff is at 8, 10 o'clock, we packing up cameras. And one guy still sitting in the stands, timer, maybe in his 40s and so on. And some boys with my timer, no, ish. I'm not my Lugendlin, so way to somewhere. So Banks was bringing in Pirates, and I saw the game. I don't even know if you won or lost. I can't remember.
For sure.
But I just know, and I just wanted to see the game. Which is spanning Ganjan, so we were in Ganjan, and
Yeah.
Jay back from the Pirates, and you're like, really? So
Nice,
the other
yeah.
guys, by my time I was they gave money, went home. But people do that.
Yeah, people do that.
It's-
It's serious.
Yeah.
So,
no.
you know, you need to know the history of the game.
I fully agree with you. And on that note of understanding the culture of a club and, of course, seniority within a club, let's find out what Coach Mangoba Mngiti has to say on Themba Zwane and the contract extension.
I think it's the right thing to do. And everybody is free to make his opinion heard, but I think it's the right thing to do. Because for players at that age, it's important to keep them on their toes. I don't think it necessarily means he will be out of the club after 1 year. But for him to stay sharp, it's important that he knows he has to fight for the next contract. And I think if all PSL teams can adopt, it will be the best thing that we can do for our football. Because most of senior players, they want to get a 4-year contract because they know they are looking for retirement, and you want them to perform every year. I think it's a good thing, and I think Mishishi is the right player for it because he is a very professional player. He will work very hard. He will know he cannot sit on his laurels. He has to give it his best shot, and I'm very confident he will do.
I know, Skipper, that you're also passionate about the youngsters. Talk to us about the youngsters in the country, the future that you see of them, and perhaps maybe just a little bit the youngsters that impressed you last season, and then hopefully now the continuation, because that's what we want to see, right? I think that's the pressure for Abu Sisane, Abu Ribe, that can they continue from where they left off?
Yeah, I'm passionate about the youngsters who are willing to do great in their career.
Yeah.
I think I'm into a space whereby I mentor some of the players that are playing nowadays, which ngiyajabula nami, because I've been in their shoes, and there was no one who always call you and say, hey, you did well in this game, do this, improve here and here, I used to get phone calls, but I'm saying someone who's say you need to improve in terms of details, the details that other people they don't see, so when I tell them, it's at least they taking in a good way. And
How old were you, Mama, saying in the palace when you first arrived?
I was
18.
18.
18?
Yeah.
So you understand what Relay is going through right now? Because now we figure out that.
Yeah.
So you understand exactly what is going through?
Yeah, I understand what is going through.
How do you feel about the way he's handling it?
So far, it's still handling it very well, I can say, because I'm always on his neck. Always on his necks. When he does something, I tell him, even if I don't know, but I tell him, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that, because I can see the future. The future is there, and if he plays with the future, then it's a problem.
Part of the future, do you want him overseas?
Was a difficult question. Why?
But I mean,
Actually, after that question, I've got another question.
It's great for him if it goes overseas, but also he's been playing well for Orlando Pirates, and if you're playing, why not? But if you can go overseas, if the opportunity comes, then I don't have a problem with that. I'll be happy for him.
Okay. When I'm up your situation, I mean, there was interest from a team in France, I think, at one point in your career, but you played your whole career basically at Orlando Pirates or here locally. You played Champions League finals, Confederations Cup finals. You did it all.
Yeah.
So that you didn't go overseas, does it that group, or are you okay with your career? Are you happy? Happy.
I'm happy with the way my career went.
Satisfied, no?
I'm satisfied, very satisfied. Even though, yes, I wanted to play overseas, but it didn't happen. But I feel like I've played my role in South Africa the way I've dreamed.
You know why I say so?
Why?
It's like for us who watch the local game, because like South Africa, the nice thing is we love our local game. We appreciate guys like Happy who are dope.
Yeah.
They arrived the Pirates, 18-year-old, already in the starting lineup. Great player, didn't leave, so we kept a great player in the league. And there's many of them. About the Sundowns, there's many of them. And they make the league nice. About Lompo, they never left.
Yeah.
These guys could have gone anywhere. And they didn't go. So having watched South African football for so long, I mean, I appreciate you guys,
No, thank you.
Let's stay.
All right, thanks, cuz. I appreciate that.
Wow. There you go again.
But Skipper, the other youngsters, because it's not only Relay that you also, have conversations with. Talk to us about the other youngsters that are also close to your heart, and maybe you might not talk to them, but you watch them and you marvel and hope that also things are going to go well for them.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys, Batanda, to be honest, and I love watching them. I've been to Royal AM. There's couple of guys, youngsters, I also monitor them all the time.
Yeah.
Always watching them, Ushizi, I'm sure that the number 77, I'm sure that, man. Yeah, I love watching those boys, and I feel like they've got a good career. And Sisane is like a brother to me.
Yeah.
I've grown that boy since, I know this boy since maybe before DDC, maybe under 19.
For sure.
from there we just clicked, me and him, and we used to go to his family. He knows my family, I know his family. You know, we are close. If there's a problem, even the mother, she can call me and say, hey, tell me young manch. Then I'll run.
That's nice.
I'll run and go to Busesan. He's a special boy to me. It's very special to me. I don't want to lie. And I'm hoping, you know, things can go well for him. You know, now he's doing great to Pirate. I wish he can continue, improve, and be the player that he wants to be and play more games in the team.
So you're one of the players that, in terms of drama, your life was very quiet. As Sizwe says, you know, you do the job, you're stuck with Orlando Pirates. Now when you talk to these youngsters, is the conversation also, mind your business, you know, do the work that pays you, invest into that, and also the advice as to how do you avoid the drama, because they're also at the age where they're fascinated about a lot of things around them. You know, do you have those honest conversations about literally everything? Because a lot of times, Skipper, we also talk about how, you know, Joburg lights can blind you, and you know, we have this young talent, but then they will get lost because of so much that is happening around them.
Yeah, I think Meluba Jele to Uti, hey, Mamela isn't so, Kamba so, you know, obviously you can't decide for them because they still need to do their journey around the way. My journey, it's past, but their journey needs to be do it. Bangazo yenda 7 about 50 or 60. You know, some of the things they need to go through it.
For sure.
You know, just to see Guti Gwenzagalan. But when I just prevent it in the right way and say, don't do this because 1, 2, 3, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But most of the thing that I tell them, some of the soccer players, we didn't go to school for the fact. Maybe 99%. You know what I mean? So the things that pays you right now, the bills and everything, just to sacrifice on those things, play it, enjoy it until the age whereby you are done. Then the nice life that you need, it's still gonna come. It's not running away.
Because you retire when you're still young.
It's not running away. All the things that I wish to do after game, I can do it now.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you something. There was an event in Witbank. I think there was a funeral in Witbank. I didn't go.
Is this another family meeting?
No.
I want to know about the chairman, Pirates, and how they protect you as well. Maybe even from yourself. I'll tell you why. So I hear there's a funeral we had at home. You went, but Pirates brought you there. I think someone was a driver for you, and right after the funeral, they left, and they took you back to Joburg. How important is it to because you could have stayed the whole weekend, but here's Pirates sending you there with, I think, security as well, to make sure you looked after and we still move forward.
In terms of it's because we were playing on that day. I think we were playing on Saturday. So Umakoko passed on, and I've asked, can I go to the funeral? They said, you can't go to the funeral on that week. I think we were playing a dab or something, but it was a serious game, you know. So the chairman, I went to the chairman and asked, can I go? He said, no, you can go to church and come back, you know. Then we end up, I was in camp on Friday, Saturday in the morning. We were playing at 8. Yeah, I still remember playing at 8. Then in Damba, a home game. So he said, no, you can go in the morning. I had my suit there. The securities, we drove the car. I had, securities in the team. The support that I've got, it was brilliant for me, Then we went to the church. After the service, before we going to cement, I left. I didn't tell the family that I have to go. That's the sacrifice that I'm trying to tell the youngsters. In terms of, there's some of the things that it kills you inside, But you have to do the job. No matter what happens, you have to do the job. So that's the sacrifice that we need to tell everyone, that this comes once, it's a short career.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, you're playing more than 10 years.
You're lucky. PSL, because you can still be playing ABC.
Yeah. If you are lucky, you're playing more than 10 years. It's a good career. Me, I was lucky more than that. You know, some, they maybe 3 years, 4 years, they're out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just protect the talent that we have just now and enjoy it, make use of it.
Yeah.
Make use of it because it's short.
Yeah.
Very.
It's short.
So, amongst the conversations, there's also a record that you held on to. Musa Lebusa had to break it over the weekend. He took it from you. Yeah, but you held on to it for a very long time. But it just had to be broken at some point, Skipper.
Yeah, they have to. They have to.
You know where he's from?
Who?
Musa.
Where is he from?
Welcome, bro.
Oh my goodness.
Finally. I can always Mpumalanga. Finally.
But you're from Mpumalanga. What do you say?
I mean, I both.
No.
No, he identifies with Valcom.
No, it's
That's
no.
It's home.
The proper roots.
Home.
As a car.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a chance.
No, it's home.
Okay, we'll fix this family issue of air. But yes, Musa Lebusa goes on to take over to be a goalkeeper after Onyango is red carded to then being the goalkeeper, which is something that you also did at some point in your career. But the interesting thing with you is that before you even went professional, it was nothing for you. It was a piece of cake, this thing of being a goalkeeper. Because I remember the last chat we had, like, you're gonna have to play every position.
You play all rounder.
Yeah.
Why is it always the central defenders? Lucas Hante, when you got to Leeds, also
yes.
So why is it always the central defenders?
Surprise Muriri is a striker, so you did it as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Surprise did twitch. Yes, you're right. I forgot about surprise.
We
So,
did it once.
Oh,
special
yes.
one. But yes, talk to us how that comes along. I mean, yes, all rounder, but in a game, because you saw in the Sundowns game that nobody wanted to do it. Hey, like everybody was just hesitating.
So I'm checking food.
Yes. But talk to us about that.
I had to volunteer because, Pala shows in the games, in my training session, used to say, today you're not playing your own position. Just play different position, choose.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll go to the goalkeeper, I know Roy, that side. Sometimes Penny McCarthy. We rotate and, Nenning a striker. Just on that day, and when things goes on in the years, I get to understand with why he was doing this thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Look at Baseng who checks in, get injured on that day, not injured, got the red card on the day. No one said, hey, in. I said, guys, I'm gonna be a goalie. They say serious, yeah. Jackson gave me the shirt. I took the shirt. Then I took the responsible.
Is it as exciting for you? Because for me, I'm like, oh my goodness, drama. I love it. Same.
It's exciting.
Nice.
Even now, when we play 5-a-side, sometimes I'm a goalie.
Yeah.
But he's got the height, Malanga and It's just like,
It's nice. So in our team, when you arrive late, you are a goalkeeper. So,
oh, is it?
Yeah, so when I'm late, I'm a goalkeeper. So, but I enjoy.
No, that's good. It was great to see quickly.
Yeah.
We're wrapping up, so I need you to ask your final question.
Before. And this just hit me now. You mentioned Benny. And then I thought, wow, you played with Benny.
Brian, he's played with every dope
don't
player in the
old.
country.
No,
don't say I'm old.
I'm not saying old. You played with Benny.
Yeah.
You played with Opa, whom I rate very highly. For me, Opa is one of my favorite players.
Manyesa.
But
Manyesa is young to me.
No, it's not about age now. This is what I'm saying.
It's just saying the dope players.
Opa, jeez, Bolukhwati. You mentioned the Khan.
Yeah. About Donna as well.
Donna as well.
Yeah.
And back to that about Donna.
Yeah.
Back here, that's another story. But out of all these players, who's the one where you're like, yeah, no, this one is special?
Special player.
Yeah, out of all these guys you played with.
There's too many.
But
From the top of your head.
there has to be one.
No,
I mean,
there's
Benny,
not.
I mean, come on, Joe.
One
There
on
has
top
to
of
be
your head,
one.
Skip.
I think-
I
I think the cream, the whole team that I've played with, we were my cream.
Skip.
Okay. Which generation was it? It was, okay.
Remember,
let's group them again.
I've played with different
Generations,
generations.
yeah.
So
number
ngiphi ke
five.
le cream lo show yona manje.
Group level, loud, best
And
the
we
trouble
don't
with
listen around, innit? But the treble one,
with Benny.
it was top.
And Tommy, he actually should tell you the joys he had playing with Tommy.
Is it?
Yeah, he's
We
shared
had
that with
joys,
me.
Really?
Yeah.
I always tell him every day. Every day when I meet to tell me, basixoxa ngebhola ngithi guys, yo, kubuyazi.
Oh.
I've enjoyed playing with you.
Oh, wow.
It's not to take away with other players that
Yes.
I think the understanding was better.
What's him?
Yes, the last part. I remember and you have to say this. You cannot say this.
Which one?
In terms of Mandlal, it's okay. Mabalan, when Abalega,
No, we
I
used to
grind.
talk like when we analyze the team.
Yeah.
Guti Ngudlano Sizwe today. Sizwe is a left back. Yeah, well, we communicate to Sizwe on speed, you are dribble, okay, sharp. Then we decide, okay, in the first half, when I'm kichimi, when I'm overlay, I'm kichimi,
Yeah.
Then comes second half, I said, I sing right manch.
Yeah.
Say come away, Then sing your overlap and everything. So I'm Qatar.
Yeah.
Just we make a site in the freeway. Yeah. But it was nice because we communicate.
See, special, right? Definitely. All right. Hopefully, that was just a special for you. But we also have a special feature that we're trying to introduce. Hopefully, you like it as much as Sizwe Mabena does. It is top 10 questions. In this first round, we've got Paul Makola. Let's find out how that went about. All right, top 10 questions with one of my favorite midfielders of all time, Paul Makola, Bibo. Woo! Yeah, all right, cool. First question, Beebs.
Yep.
What's your favorite childhood memory?
It would be me getting on a bus, double decker. First time going to school, and that was my life for like 10 years afterwards. Being on a bus by myself and, getting to school and back and being able to take myself to school and back.
Well done. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
To heal people.
Jeez, that's deep, bro. I mean, you could be invisible and you want to heal people. You're a deep guy. All right, cool. What's your go-to comfort food?
Fried rice.
Okay. Which footballer has the best ink?
Does it have to be can I include overseas?
Yeah.
I think Lindelof from Manchester.
Okay, at home?
At home, I haven't seen any. I think Keegan has got some dope art.
We'll give it to Keegan. All right.
Yeah.
What's the most
Keegan.
interesting player? What's the most interesting place you've ever visited?
Comoros Island.
The best dressed footballer?
In our country? Manti Moholo and Takomudisa.
If you could meet any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Denzel Washington. Just to have a chat with him.
All right. Do you have any hidden talents?
I'm a good cook.
Okay. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Don't take it too hard. And just let things be.
All right. Top 10 questions with Bibo. Well, one of my favorite questions from that is the one person that Bieber would meet and get advice from. Actually, he chose, as you've seen, Denzel Washington. What about you? Who would you pick, Skipper? The one person that you would like to meet in the entire world and just have a conversation with them. Don't take too long.
That's a good one.
Sure. Yeah, man.
Hey, we Islander dog.
Sure.
We just have a conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah, about life,
about life,
whatever.
everything. Yeah.
Who would you?
Who would I pick?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you first.
Yeah. That's why I'm buying time.
I don't know.
I think I would go with Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton would definitely be on my list. I mean, he's on quite the journey and the transition.
No, I'll love to see Sergio Ramos.
Ramos.
Ramos?
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I see the vision. Yeah, no, that makes sense. What about you?
Eminem. That's the conversation. Eminem. Honestly. You got a lot in common with him.
Because, I love to sit with the role model.
Yes.
The icon that, And I was lucky. My role model, Nkuluma and I, almost every week, my chance. Lucas Khatewe. I'm always talking to Lucas Khatewe. So I'm lucky.
For sure.
What's your favorite player growing up?
Lucas Khatewe.
So that's...
my chance.
Oh, he's too lucky, no?
You're too lucky.
He's blessed.
Bruh. Like, you can just call him up.
You are blessed.
So, second shot and number 4.
No, it will happen at some point. At some point.
Yeah, just to meet. Maybe tell t-shirt
we frame, yeah. That would definitely be iconic. And that's how we wrap up the Arena Sports Show. Hopefully you enjoyed that conversation as much as we did. It had a bit of twists and turns, but our defender here definitely carried us through that one.
Captain, my captain.
Captain, my captain. From us, it's cheers, goodbye.